Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, let's dive deep into what's happening with the Atlanta Falcons and one of their most talked about players lately, Kyle Pitts. If you've been following the Falcons over the past few seasons, you know that Pitts is a player with immense talent, a true game changer when he's at his best. But as we all know, the NFL is a league of consistency, and Pitts has faced some hurdles in that department. Still, the buzz around him, the potential he offers, and what the future might hold for him and the Falcons are more intriguing than ever. So, let's get into the details and break down exactly what's going on with Pitts, the team's plans, and how this all could shape the Falcons' trajectory in the coming years. First off, for those who might have missed it, Kyle Pitts arrived in Atlanta with high expectations. Drafted in 2021 as the 4th overall pick, he was seen as a generational talent at tight end, a player who could redefine what it means to be a receiving tight end in the NFL. His combination of size, speed, and athleticism made him a matchup nightmare, and many fans and analysts thought he could be the guy to push the Falcons' offense into a new stratosphere. And let's be honest, his rookie season did not disappoint. Pitts racked up over 1,000 receiving yards, making him one of the few tight ends in league history to do so in their first year. That season, he showcased his playmaking ability, his route running, and his knack for finding soft spots in defenses. It was a promising start, and everyone started to dream about what he could become. But like many young players, Pitts faced setbacks. His sophomore year was plagued with injuries, especially that MCL tear in 2022, which limited his production and his ability to stay on the field. Injuries are part of the game, sure, but they also raise questions about durability, consistency, and the ability to reach that superstar level that everyone initially projected. Despite these hurdles, Pitts continued to show flashes of brilliance, and in 2023, he had a somewhat more productive season, although not quite at the level of his rookie year. He managed to stay healthy for most of the season, which was a positive sign, but the stats still fell short of the expectations set when he first arrived. Now, here's where things get interesting from a contractual and strategic perspective. The NFL is a business, and for a player like Pitts, the question isn't just about his talent, but also about how the Falcons value him in the long term. The team's management has been somewhat cautious when it comes to offering him a big extension. As of now, there's no indication that a new contract is imminent. In fact, according to reports from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's Orlando Ledbetter, there's been no chatter, no whispers, about the Falcons trying to lock up Pitts before training camp. That's a significant detail because it signals that the team might be taking a wait-and-see approach, especially given Pitts' injury history and the mixed results on the field. Right now, Pitts is set to play this season on a fifth-year option worth about $88 million. That's a substantial amount, and it gives the Falcons some leverage. They can see how he performs this year, evaluate his health and consistency, and then decide whether to extend him or let him hit free agency in 2026. For Pitts, that 2026 season is crucial. If he can put together a strong, healthy year, he could position himself as a top-tier tight end in the league and cash in with a giant deal, possibly pushing that figure well into the double digits per year, echoing the kind of contracts signed by players like George Kittle or Travis Kelce. But the path to that elite level isn't clear-cut, especially considering his recent injury struggles and the overall evolution of the tight end market. Let's talk about the market itself for a moment, because Pitts is in a unique position. The tight end position has seen a resurgence lately, with players like Kelce and Andrews setting the bar high. But not all tight ends are created equal, and the market for a player like Pitts is still uncertain. He's proven he can be a reliable target, if not yet at the superstar level consistently, yet his injury history and development curve make some teams cautious. For example, in recent years, Players like Evan Engram, David Njoku, Mike Gesicki, and Dalton Schultz have been tagged with the franchise tag, earning around $8 million for a year. These players eventually secured lucrative long-term deals, often surpassing that franchise tag figure. So, the Falcons might consider the franchise tag as a viable option if they want to keep Pitts, especially if negotiations stall or if they want to avoid rushing into a long-term commitment before he's fully proven himself again. And of course, the rumors of a trade have floated around, as they often do with high-profile players who don't have a contract extension yet. But so far, nothing has materialized. The Falcons have been cautious, seeking at least a second-day pick in return if they do decide to trade Pitts, but no deal has come close to fruition. If the team starts slow this season, or if Pitts doesn't produce at the expected level early on, that could reignite trade speculation. After all, the Falcons are in a bit of a tricky spot. They want to see him develop further, especially with the arrival of quarterback Desmond Ridder and the continued growth of young stars like Drake London and Bijan Robinson. These are the building blocks of Atlanta's future, and Pitts' role in that puzzle could be pivotal. Speaking of quarterbacks, the situation at the position has been a roller coaster for Pitts. When he was drafted, Matt Ryan was the quarterback, and that pairing looked promising. Ryan's veteran presence and accurate arm gave Pitts the chance to develop as a reliable target. But after Ryan's trade in March 2022, Atlanta's quarterback situation has been in flux. First Marcus Mariota, then Desmond Ridder, and now the team is looking at Michael Penix Jr., a promising young quarterback coming from Washington. Pitts' development will be closely tied to how well Penix adapts to the NFL and whether he can elevate the offense. If Penix makes significant strides, Pitts' production could spike, making him even more attractive ahead of 2026. Another aspect to keep an eye on is Pitts' health. He suffered that foot injury during the summer, which is something to monitor as the season approaches. Foot injuries can be tricky, especially for a player who relies on route running and explosiveness. But if he's able to stay healthy, the odds of him having a big year increase substantially. And that's essential, because a strong 2024 campaign could solidify his place as a franchise cornerstone, or at least significantly boost his trade value should the Falcons decide to go down that path. Now, looking beyond the Falcons, the tight end market in 2024 could be quite crowded. Players like Mark Andrews and Dallas Goedert are heading into free agency, while Kels will be 37 years old. Though he's still performing at an elite level, his future in Kansas City is uncertain. Other names like Njoku and Noah Fant could also be on the move or in line for extensions. But Pitts' youth, only 25, makes him an enticing option for teams looking for a young, talented tight end who can grow with their offense. If he hits free agency, he might be one of the most sought-after players at his position, especially if he can demonstrate durability and consistency this season. The Falcons, meanwhile, have a few more years to make a decision. Pitts is currently behind Drake London and Bijan Robinson in the extension queue, and that adds a layer of complexity. Atlanta is building a competitive team, and they want to get their contracts right. Whether they choose to extend Pitts, franchise tag him, or explore a trade, the decision will have long-term implications for the franchise's future. They've invested heavily in this era, and Pitts' development could be a key ingredient in whether Atlanta can finally reach the Super Bowl stage again. So, what does all this mean for you, Falcons fans? It's a story of potential, patience, and strategic planning. Pitts' talent is undeniable, but the NFL is a business of timing and opportunity. His health, his performance this season, and how the Falcons handle his contract negotiations will shape his career and the team's future. We're entering a crucial phase, and it's exciting to see how everything unfolds. Will Pitts bounce back and become the superstar many envisioned? Will Atlanta lock him up long-term or look to trade him for future assets? These questions are at the heart of what makes following the Falcons so interesting right now. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on Kyle Pitts' situation? Do you believe he's destined for a breakout year, or do you think the team might trade him if things don't go as planned? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons as well. Remember, this is just the beginning, and I'll be back soon with more updates, insights, and stories about your favorite team. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this Falcons family growing stronger every day. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons.